Hi, I'm Alison Raffaele, makeup artist and founder of Alison Raffaele Cosmetics, and today I'm here to show you how to use my True Concealer to conceal dark under eye circles. Now I already have a bit of makeup on because I want you to see the effect that the concealer has on the final look of the face. But generally when you do concealer, it goes after your primer, then your foundation, then your concealer, then your powder, then the rest of your makeup. So this isn't being done in the correct order, just so you know. First thing is I'm going to use my True Concealer number 3, and I'm going to apply it directly to the dark under eye circle. Now color is really important with concealer. True Concealer comes in 7 colors, so you're bound to find a really good match. But a lot of people will say, you know, that you should go a shade lighter or pinker or yellower. I really like it to be as close of a match as possible because True Concealer is a full coverage concealer, and when you're doing full coverage, any variation in the color from your natural skin tone is going to look phony, and concealer is supposed to look real. It's not supposed to appear that you can see it once it's on. Now as you can see, I am blending. I took my large concealer brush and I am blending downwards and outwards with the concealer. Any excess I feel that's there, I can just move away with my finger. And then when I get to this inner corner, I'm going to blend upwards and inwards. This inner corner right here where the bridge of the nose meets the corner of the eye, really important to not miss this area. This area gets really dark as we get older. So you want to make sure that you get that area well. And we're again just going all the way along the lash line and downwards and outwards. This is the first coat of my concealer. You're beginning to see a difference between the concealed eye and the unconcealed eye, but we're going to do about 3 coats today. Generally, when you're going for full coverage, you don't want to work in one thick coat. That's going to look unnatural, that's going to look cakey, that's not going to wear well through the day. Working in several thin coats, way better way to go. It takes a little more time, but that's how you get the professional result that you're looking for. Second coat, not going to use quite as much. Again, putting it directly on that dark area. And again, taking my brush, blending downwards and outwards. Now the reason why we're blending in this direction is because the folds of your eye, the folds of your skin under your eye, run this way. You can see them from the inner corner out, and you need to have some folds under your eye or else you would not be able to blink, so don't feel bad that they're there. Sometimes I point them out to people and they get very upset. Everyone has them. And then you want to go, again, this inner corner, upwards and inwards. And again, any excess that I see, I can always tap it in with my finger like this. This is just going to help take away some, if there's too much concealer on, it's beginning to look too thick. Just blend it out nice and smooth. Now people ask, you know, should I use a brush? Should I use a sponge? Should I use my fingers? You can use whatever you want. The method of application isn't important. What's important is the final result. So whatever you're comfortable with. Sometimes I use a brush, sometimes I use my fingers, sometimes I use a sponge. Depends on, you know, just what's comfortable for me that day. So now this is our second coat. You're really beginning to see a difference at this point between the concealed and the unconcealed. I'm going to do one more coat for good measure, just where I really see any darkness still peeking through. And this time I'm just going to use this brush really lightly just to blend it out. Not blend it, but just to get it exactly where I want it. I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to tap it in. And this tapping motion is a technique known as stippling, and what it does is it blends the makeup without moving it, so you're concentrating the coverage exactly where you want it. Now I see a little bit too much up here, so I'm going to take my finger, blend this out. You don't want any hard lines of demarcation. There should be no visible lines of where the concealer stops and starts. In fact, it shouldn't be visible at all. Once you're done with it, it should look like this is the way nature intended you to look. We know better, but nobody else needs to. So now you can really see a difference between my concealed eye and my unconcealed eye. And we're going to do one more thing now, and that is we are going to set it with, this is transparent finish. I'll show it to you. It looks white in the jar. Do not be afraid of this. Even though it looks white because it's so sheer, it's actually clear powder. And I'm just taking it, putting the excess on the back of my hand. You can see I hardly have any powder on my finger at this point. And I'm just going to tap it into my concealer. What this is doing is drying the surface of the concealer, and it keeps it from sticking to itself. The result of any moist makeup sticking to itself is what people refer to as it's falling into my lines. This will keep that from happening. A lot of people think the powder is going to make them look older. Quite the contrary. It's actually going to keep the concealer smoother. And we're going all the way up into this inner corner. And then I'm going to also make sure that I blend against those folds under my eyes so that everything is really, really smooth. And there we go. This is end result. So here you have the concealed eye. Here you have the unconcealed eye. I think you'll agree that concealed is way better. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Just to review again the products that I used today. True Concealer. Comes in 7 shades. If you go on my website, which is www.alisonraffaele.com, click on the how-to section. The first thing that will come up is find your skin tone. It gives comparisons of popular celebrities and their skin tones. It's a great way to figure out what your own skin tone is. Next product we used is the transparent finish. Again, don't be afraid of it. It will go clear on all skin tones. The last thing we used is the concealer brush. This is the large concealer brush. It comes actually as a duo, the large and the small concealer brushes. The small one is for blemishes. This is made of Takalon, and the brush, the wooden handle is Forest Stewardship Council certified, so no animals were harmed in the making of this lovely brush. And it does a great job of blending and putting on your concealer. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks.